Cunningham took a jab at Caitlin Clark's newest WNBA foes by signing a Jacy Sheldon trading card with a rather humorous message written across the fans' collectible.
Sophie Cunningham placed Jacy Sheldon in her proper place following that dirty shot on Caitlin Clark, making the WNBA her own. A moment from Fight Club. She also did it outside of the court, don't know. She assured that everyone was aware of it. I want to ask you a question. Is Sophie's enthusiasm appealing to you, or is it a little excessive? This is the issue. There are two choices available to you when a teammate is a superstar like Caitlin Clark. They either stand up for her or watch helplessly as the league makes fun of her. Sophie Cunningham clearly chose option 1, and she's doing it in a way that makes her fans adore her. Each and every second. This is all connected to that game. In such instance, Marina Mayberry chose to run straight. Because she was trying out for the NFL, threw Clark after the whistle. But Jacy Sheldon's action before perhaps. Supporters of Hit caused fever want to send her straight to the WNBA penalty box, if only that were true. Keep an eye on Caitlin Clark attempting to make some room. She appeared to have been struck in the eye. How fans viewed Sheldon's shot. As unnecessary since he was already well known for being far too comfortable getting physical with Clark. You ought to think twice if you thought. Sophie Cunningham would not notice that. Later in the game, Cunningham took matters into her own hands. She informed Sheldon that chasing Caitlin would actually give her a taste of her own medicine. There are consequences for Clark, and she was not confined to the court. Let's fast forward to a Fever fan event. Sophie is sitting there signing signatures and taking photos. And participating in the standard fan-player exchange, a fan gives her a Jacy Sheldon rookie card. Someone asks her to sign it with more than just her name. They asked her to sign it. Oh no.
When you get Sophie Cunningham to sign a Jacy Sheldon rookie card with property of, that is crazy. That is crazy.
When Sophie takes the card, grabs a pen, and writes, "Property of Sophie Cunningham," it's more than just a signature. Across the front, it's a message. It basically says, "Yeah, I own this matchup." Jacy Sheldon will think twice before. I own this moment, therefore I'm chasing my colleague again.
She's the problem. She is the problem.
The footage of her doing it, pure gold. Lexi Hull, a teammate, is giggling among the onlookers next to her. It's the kind of moment you don't have until you have players that are funny and unreservedly competitive. Things become even better at this point. Cunningham did not try to walk it back. She didn't say, "I was kidding, I see." No, she leans right into it. That's the kind of zeal you want in your enforcer. Because Sophie Cunningham is without a doubt the Fever's enforcer. Now, every exceptional team has one that some hockey players' sole duty was to make sure Wayne Gretzky was not touched. Without having to pay for it, if you fouled Bryant's teammates too severely, NBA players like Michael Jordan and Kobe would. They would confront you. Caitlin Clark also has Sophie Cunningham in the WNBA right now. The funny part is that Sophie is more than just a bench player who makes a statement by taking serious fouls. She is actually producing. She is a real three-point shooter and has been on fire since the All-Star break. Both a starter and a shooter. She scored 18 points against the rest of the Fever, who could have just stayed at home. The planet Mercury
has been Caitlin Clark's biggest cheerleader and defender.
And it literally pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league.
Who would be?
What? When people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb as You're literally dumb as.
The sad truth about this video we just watched is she is the first WNBA player I have seen to openly say this out loud, publicly, and not be ashamed in declaring it. Caitlin Clark is the reason we have been talking about the WNBA. Hate it or love it, it's true. I don't believe that Caitlin Clark necessarily wants that title that everyone has been giving to her. I think she just wants to be appreciated And Sophie Cunningham, she just seems like such a real one, such a good friend. I think especially with women, especially elite level athletes, there's a lot of people, women, who will kind of stab you in the back. There's a lot of jealousy, a lot of resentment, especially when you're good. But Sophie just seems like such a girl's girl. I really, really like her. Maybe Caitlin Clark should do the next American Eagle campaign, or Sophie.
But she's also doing the hard work that nobody else seems to want to do while she's releasing statistics to show rivals that Clark isn't playing alone. This is significant because, whether she likes it or not, Clark's involvement in the league has made her a target. Carter, Kennedy. It has been shown by Diamond DeShields, Marina Mabrey, and now Jacy Sheldon. This Sheldon incident is not like the others, because Sophie Cunningham ensured a response and made it loud enough for the audience to hear. Sophie Cunningham's autograph is now practically a meme. Fever fans love it, Clark's fans love it. Even unbiased supporters who are tired of watching Clark take hits will find it appealing. Additionally, it's crucial to remember that, so far, Jacy Sheldon's WNBA career hasn't exactly been consistent. The Dallas Wings selected her, swapped a few months later, and is now a Connecticut Sun member. When she is out there creating enemies with one of the most popular basketball players, her cause is not aided by that kind of instability. The narrative was further solidified by Cunningham's little pranks during the fan gathering. Sheldon's playmaking hasn't yet influenced her legacy, either scoring or defense, concerns being the player who went after Caitlin Clark. Furthermore, Sophie Cunningham is currently the owner of the participant. You could hear the collective cheers of Fever Nation as that video surfaced on social media. Especially for a team that has been the subject of constant media attention, it's the type of occasion that fortifies identify of the team. Moreover, Cunningham knows exactly what she is doing. She is mobilizing her fan base and cautioning anyone else who might be thinking about testing Clark to take advantage of that chance. Simply leave tomorrow. You're on the Las Vegas Strip, which has the potential to be a spectacular spectacle. You know what? I'm simply going to be myself. I'm focused on accomplishing my goals, so I don't walk in there attempting to predict anything. Shots, ensuring that I'm carrying out the plans correctly. I'm not paying attention to extracurricular activities. And you know what? It was merely a part of the game at the time. I believe that was largely due to the referees. For a couple, there was a build-up. 4 years now, they have simply failed to safeguard the WNBA star player. Thus, in the end, I will defend my teammates. I do that. I also work well in a team, so because of this, I think Sophie is now the second, only surpassed by Clark as the Fever team's most popular player. She is talented, has a personality, and doesn't think twice about using her influence when required. Before we move on, let's be honest. Had Clark not been singled out throughout the season, there wouldn't even be a Sophie versus Jacy situation. Fever fans discover Sophie Cunningham's property because of this autograph so satisfying. There were multiple shoves and knees to the groin involved. Finally, this was about Caitlin Clark. After a season of non-basketball plays, a teammate responded loudly in public. Throughout the entire year, we have seen it. Kennedy Carter's blindside hit, which was so unnecessary that it turned into the footage that caused 1,000 topics to discuss. The body check by Diamond Shield seemed more like a hockey penalty than a basketball foul. Following the whistle shove, Marina Mavras admitted later that it was an overreaction, but nevertheless tried to frame as merely a component of the game. And now Jacy Sheldon, who was able to amass a growing number of accidents. Supporters of Fever were particularly irritated by the Sheldon incident against Clark. He was chosen by the Dallas Wings with the 5th overall choice in the 2024 draft. She was moved to another team before she could unpack. She is currently making headlines for striking Clark in unrelated ways. To defense, the Connecticut Sun said, "If you wish to be taken seriously as a professional athlete, that is not the path you should choose." Sophie Cunningham made the choice after seeing everything. To make sure Sheldon's standing as a strong female was called into question on the court. Sophie has the power to alter the atmosphere. She is the only person on the Fever in a game with both her presence and her shooting. Thus when Clark gets struck, you can see that something is wrong, so you quickly see if she's on the ground to return in the other direction. This caused the fan event autograph moment to become viral online. It has symbolic importance in addition to being funny. I am in control of this matchup, which was communicated through Sophie Cunningham's land. You won't run over my teammate without first talking to me. Moreover, Sophie isn't just talking. Severely. She has produced some of her best career numbers since the All-Star break. One of the rare Fever players is her. He consistently scores in double figures and makes threes when the chips are down. One instance is the Phoenix Mercury game. Sophie gained 18 points and kept up her hard work until the last beep, as the entire Fever performed as if they had left their zeal behind. No hiding, no justifications. As a result, Sophie's choice to assume the enforcer role differs from an end-of-bench participant. She is making a contribution, producing, and leading by example for her teammates. At this point, there is a comparison to traditional enforcement. Hockey players under Wayne Gretzky made sure that anyone who came into contact with he was held responsible. NBA players with teammates who would physically intercede were Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. If the situation was too stressful, Sophie Cunningham is now playing in the WNBA, according to Caitlin Clark. And that's crucial because since Clark entered the league, the WNBA has seen increased attendance, TV ratings, and the highest number of tickets sold in years. But it has also led to more physical targeting than most of second-year athletes have ever encountered. Furthermore, if players aren't eager, the Fever sends the wrong message. To respond, Clark, it's fair game. In order to prevent the communication from being retained, Sophie is making sure that keeping her fans entertained. When you combine your on-court performance with your charm off the court, the response from Fever and Clark supporters has been overwhelmingly positive. Videos of the moment of the signature and jokes on social media that called Sophie a black belt went viral. Barbie, alluding to her instruction in martial arts, as well as supporters who said they would buy things that featured Sophie Cunningham's belongings. Meanwhile, Jacy Sheldon's standing continues to deteriorate. The present public ownership of the groinee, the Clark foul, and Sophie. When questioned about her first season, the average fan is likely to bring them up. That's the type of material that sticks, especially in a league where narrative is as crucial as data, as per the current plot. When someone targets her teammate, Sophie Cunningham isn't afraid to confront them or take revenge. It's also interesting that Sophie's response sets a standard for the entire Fever group. What's being said is clear: if you want to be on this squad, you have to protect our stars. You don't only see them as struck. And you know what? The Fever requires more of that. Caitlin Clark's game doesn't work by itself. She needs teammates who will give her space, absorb blows, and discourage opponents from mistreating her. Sophie Cunningham is the perfect illustration of that. Her approach also appeals to unbiased fans who like athletes who stand up for their peers, yet might not be interested in the result. Additionally, those personalities are crucial in a league that is still fighting for acceptance. Let's also talk about how rare this kind of public jab is in the WNBA. While it's common for players to act aggressively during games, publicly attacking an opponent in public is improper. Signing session, that moment, Sophie is doing more than just protecting Clark. She is promoting herself as someone you ought to stay away. For the same reason, her black belt Barbie nickname works. The martial arts background is not the sole element. It requires a blend of skill, perseverance, and unabashed swagger. She doesn't want to please everyone. She wants to succeed so that her comrades might follow suit without having to. Persistent harassment. Oh, what comes next? This will undoubtedly be a story issue if the Fever and Sun cross paths again this season. Sheldon's efforts, Sophie's response, and Clark's capacity to complete. Viewers will see the entire game if there are no more mishaps. Sophie starts to play a strategic role. At that moment, the mere fact that she is on the court changes the opponent's calculations. Taking a cheap jab at a famous person. It's one thing to know that no one is pursuing you, it's another when you know that someone will make you regret it. Like Sophie Cunningham in the end, Sophie did more than just correct Jacy Sheldon. Considering how this season has gone, she sent a message that the Fever had to send months ago to the entire league. What are your thoughts? So, Was Sophie Cunningham's property moment the best way to exact revenge on Jacy Sheldon? Or was it just adding fuel to the fire? Let me know in the comments. Additionally, ring that bell, hit like, and subscribe while you're in this place. You won't want to miss what happens